we got a sponsor, but it was like maybe almost 8 years ago. They want to pay me with Bitcoin. And then my team, we're not sure about that. But after these years, we start to understand, learn, and see how much money we lost. That time, it was a lot of Bitcoin. And then now you see what's the difference, how much money you can make.
Hey guys, it's Alan from The Culture Bit. Before we get into today's show, I got a shout out from the rooftops that you have to be at Bitcoin 2025 this year. It's the biggest gathering of Bitcoiners in the world, like one big celebration with all of your favorite Bitcoiners to talk about the future, get a job in the industry, learn about the latest developments happening in the industry, and just grab a beer with your friends from around the world. It's happening May 27th through the 29th in Vegas. So get your tickets today at b.tc/conference and make sure you use my promo code CULTURE at checkout. See you in Vegas. Welcome back to The Culture Bit. On today's show, I am talking to the one and only Cris Cyborg, the Brazilian-American MMA legend who dominates the field as the only Grand Slam champion, holding titles in Strikeforce, Invicta UFC, and Bellator. She's also an avid Bitcoiner. We talk about everything today, from her journey into Bitcoin starting in 2018, what Bitcoin means for people in Brazil and fighters and other athletes, and she teases what she's going to be speaking at the upcoming Bitcoin conference later this May. It was a great show. Let's dive into it. Cris Cyborg is joining us here today on The Culture Bit. Welcome to the show. She's a legendary MMA fighter, Grand Slam champion across Strikeforce, Invicta UFC, and Bellator MMA.
Yes.
Not only is she a prominent figure in combat sports, but also in the Bitcoin space. Cris, welcome to the show.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm happy to share a little bit about how I'm into the Bitcoin. Thank you for having me here.
It's a pleasure to have you. So let's start. I always like to get into the background of my guests a little bit. Let the audience who may not be familiar with you get to know you a little bit. So let's start with early life in your athletic roots. You were a national level handball player in Brazil, as I've read, before MMA. How did that athletic foundation shape up who you are today?
You know, I love sports, so I started into sport in school when I was 12 years old, and they go into the college, high school, and then I started training handball, but I was good at everything. I was training soccer, running, track and field. But then I found handball, and I was thinking I'm done. I want to be a handball player, and I was playing the college, and then one guy from the mixed martial arts gym, he said, "I think you can be a great fighter." I look at him, I don't like fight, I'm okay. And he said, "No, I'm coming, I want to try." So when I started training a little bit when I was 19 years old, but I was already a professional handball player. And then I feel like, okay, maybe I can do one fight for see how it works. So because I love compete, and I still love compete. I just competed a shooting competition this last weekend. And for me, I love it, And then I think it's a challenge. So I did my first fight in 6 months training. I didn't win that fight, but I say, no, I'm born for this. I want to do this for a live. And after this, I stay like undefeated for years, 14 years. I know I got all the majors, world champion belts in the Korea. Unbelievable. I never have a plan to be a fighter, but I didn't think I have a heart to fight, but I started learning. I think when you're consistent and then every day in discipline, you can do whatever you want to do. And I'm really into the MMA. Now it's going to complete this year in May. When it's going to be the conference, it's going to be 20 years I'm being fighter.
Yeah, I was just going to say, going all the way back to 2005 when you were first unsure about joining, 20 years later,
Yes.
You're still loving the sport, still participating in it. And you're a force to reckon with, especially, as a role model for other women in the sport and other women who are looking to get into the sport. How do you see your role in it, and how has it kind of evolved over time as kind of a role model for people looking to get into MMA?
I think it's very as big a responsibility. When you share, people look to you, and then young girls you look to you. I think it's very important you be a great example. And one of the things when I started fighting, I was like, not just fight for myself, but fight for women's MMA. Because the beginning, we talk about 20 years ago, now I have a lot of girls fight. People don't accept the girls fight too much. So they say, girls cannot fight like a guy. So I have to prove them wrong. Man, the girls really can fight like a guy. They really can make exciting fight. Because, before the guys getting together for watch the fight, but now you can see the whole family, the wife, the kids go watch the fight because I have a girl in the card. So this is changing all the environment from the MMA, and you see how big in 20 years the sport grows so much. So I make me really happy. Sometimes young girls come talk to me and say, Chris, I start fight after see you fight against Gina Carano. So it make me really happy because it's the goal. It's not just grow the sport for myself, just be famous, make money, but the goal is make better sport for the women's MMA, grow the sport. And then we always in my career, who follow me know I will really fight for having more weight division for the girls, like the weight division have a lot of for the guys. So it's really nice be part of the history, be part of the change for better. And I feel the same way in Bitcoin. I've been learning, I've been sharing with my friends, and I want the best for them. Who you love, who you see you need to be struggling, you want to help. So this is the good part of this.
Yeah. And not only are you equally passionate about combat sports, but clearly Bitcoin. I mean, your jersey here is incredible. You got the Bitcoin orange, the Bitcoin B, you got the QR code up here on the shoulder. Tell me
Yes.
a little bit about how'd you first hear about Bitcoin? Was it a friend, a fan? Like what sparked your interest originally?
The reality, my team came talk to me that we got a sponsor, and then I don't remember the year, but it was like maybe almost 8 years ago, something like that. And they really want to pay me with Bitcoin. And then my team, we're not sure about that, so we want to get a fiat, and then we don't want the Bitcoin. But after these years, we start to understand, learn, and see how much money we lost. And get it in, it's like 10,000 in 10,000 in fiat, and there can be at that time it was a lot of Bitcoin, and then now you see what's the difference, how much money you can make. So then we started learning more about the Bitcoin. My team started getting into more. They started teaching me, and they see, it's a different investment. I have a lot of different investment. I think we have to be learning with the system and then get better. I think it was important to see how the fit, the money is you can have pay a lot of things for little things. So you see like the money is get lost the value, and then see what Bitcoin you keep it hold. I think it's gonna be great for the future. A lot of people have been talking, say maybe not be for my time, it's gonna be for my kids' time. So I really share with my friends and trying to do this for them a little bit. Some is scary because then really feel like they're gonna steal their money. I said, no, you are gonna control everything. You're gonna have the 12 words. You're gonna have your login. So nobody gonna take care for you. So you're responsible. Not gonna have a hold for you. So because have some bad things happen, some people um about crypto. So then mix it with Bitcoin, then but you try teach like crypto is not Bitcoin, Bitcoin is crypto. So we try teach a little bit for them to be a little bit scared. So and try to encourage and into to us.
You mentioned so many great things there about Bitcoin being kind of this freedom tech, self sovereignty, self capture. I feel like as a fighter, that naturally resonates in the sense that implicitly that you're your own best defender at the end of the day, and why not have that transpire over to money as well? Now you're in you're in a unique position. Not only are you a professional fighter, but home to you is Brazil. For myself and for the audience, walk me through a little bit. What is the economy like Brazil? What is the economy like in Brazil right now? Did that have a factor in your Bitcoin journey?
Um, I've been talked to some friends, about Bitcoin there in Brazil. Have some team there who work a little bit about Bitcoin, but I know it's the money. The thing is being very inflation, very very expensive, everything. Um, then little bit in the struggle, if check it. Um, the people we have to teach it different way. It's hard to teach, for them don't know much because some people have a lot of problem about cryptos, the pyramid, something like this. So then we have a hard time to teach them. But I believe some people get into the Bitcoin, and then now have more education, more videos in Portuguese, the books, even the books, O Padrão de Bitcoin, the Stand Up to Bitcoin, I share a little bit more for educate people about it's really nice because you're gonna control your money, you're not gonna be the system in control. So it's still, in the developing. So it's still getting better and better, but I believe in more people you touch, more people share, it's gonna be nice.
Absolutely. And for the audience, I think the sponsorship you were first referencing happened back in 2018. So you've been in the
Yes.
space for quite some time. um, how have I know you said that things have gotten easier when talking to peers in Brazil, that there's more information now. But how has things changed since 2018? Obviously, people are more acceptive to having the conversation, but curious to hear how conversations have shifted over time. And how has that impacted your career too, embracing Bitcoin alongside your fighting career?
I started to understand like one of the things that really opened my eyes a little bit is like was the Bitcoin was our family. We are family, so we can gonna be between with us. We're gonna be survive. Like this is I feel like this is I feel like is the way to do. So then when I explain to that, okay, sometimes nobody gonna control you. So they control you. Okay, you're gonna buy just this about gas, but you have a gas station, so I'm gonna pay you in Bitcoin. So this is the freedom I feel. I was trying to explain, introduce for the people. I get lost a little bit about your question. You can answer again.
Yeah, no. So I guess from 2018 to now, how have you
Ah,
seen Bitcoin change and how has it affected you?
I feel like I learned more about the beginner. Like I feel like man, I should get it in Bitcoin. We get in fiat, so you start to learn. Sometimes you don't know. You pay because you don't learn. You didn't know. You don't learn. So I really every year I learn a little bit more and more. Um, so I got invested in miners. I getting hold. I know sometimes crazy people say, Chris, you see the money go down, gonna go up. So I say you cannot see every day, so you're gonna go crazy. But what you have to think about is like you're safe, like you think about your retirement there. It's like your hold. So I still going in the process too, but I'm really happy where I'm at now. I believe like it's not too late for you can start if you don't start yet. Have a lot of tools. You can go YouTube, you can search, and you can go to the conference. You're gonna be in Las Vegas, so you can make friends, into this. And I'm happy, I'm happy the time I start, and I'm really happy with everything.
There's some other fighters that have been pretty involved in Bitcoin as well. I recently had the chance to speak with Ben Askren.
Hmm.
And I think he got in around the same time as you, except it was through a sponsorship with Litecoin. Although we won't
Uh-huh.
talk about Litecoin on here. He has his take on it. He enjoys Bitcoin as well. How have conversations gone with other fighters? Do you have a lot of people coming to you asking about Bitcoin? And what is their reception to it?
One of the things, my fiance is really into to Bitcoin too. The one of the things that we do, like we start teaching, we say, okay, um, put your wallet in your phone, and then you donate $5. So and they start to teach you then how it works. So he's been doing it. We've been doing together this for a long time. And when you see Bitcoin go up, we start texting. You check your wallet. Some people invest, when this time happens, still investing, and you see how it grows. Some people like, I should do this. So because they see how much it grow, the $5. So we really work in this process, help the friends and everybody we met for share a little bit the experience. And this I'm doing it for the fighters too. So every opportunity we talk about business and financial, you really have to worry about, because MMA is a short career. You can be, I mean, okay, 20 years now to complete this year. I invest right, the money you make, because you really have to think about. I still have a 40 or 45 or 50 years front ahead of me. So you really have to invest right to invest, in your retirement. What are we going to do next? So it's really important the money you make, you doing the right decision. So do one of the things that I really talk to the fighters, and then teach about Bitcoin, and then we donate. You teach them, share the wallet and give him a little money and explain to them.
It's interesting that you bring up the importance as a fighter of having to save your winnings, your earnings, because your career could be over, in just one fight. Not everyone gets as lucky as you and gets to be in the
Or maybe
game
you
for
can have
20
an
years.
injury, if you have an injury and they have to stop fighting, we never know. I have a friend, he's have injured their hands, and then did the surgery and then did the right, and he didn't fight anymore. But we really have to be smart and short and invest in the right things. And I believe the Bitcoin is the right thing you can do, because you see how it grows. You think it has, is nobody control. You control everything. If the economy going down, you're still safe. So this I'll share with my friends.
Absolutely. Well, and it extends beyond just MMA and combat sports as well. Defensive lineman Russell Okung, he popularized, the pay me in Bitcoin strategy, and he mentioned things similar. He was like, "Hey, Alan, I was at the end of my career. Didn't have a whole lot of money saved to reflect my career in the NFL, and so he elected to take his last year's salary in Bitcoin." And
Uh-huh.
since then, it's repaid him back tenfold. And he's been a pretty
Yes.
vocal advocate within the NFL to keep pushing forward Bitcoin, not only as a savings tool, but hey, delay the gratification from your earnings and watch it, double up over time. I think it's really important conversation that athletes are continuing to have this with other up and coming athletes. Do you feel like Bitcoin's catching on more with some of the younger newcomers, and where do you think things are going to be down the line? Do you think the UFC might start paying their athletes in Bitcoin?
I don't know if they're gonna still, start getting paid, but I believe the young kids getting smart, all the technology. So we start to teach for the young kids, about the Bitcoin, because the reality we think about is this is gonna be good in the future. And all the time we're telling people it's still early, because some people think, no, it's too old now, it's already past. No, it's in the past. We still can do it. It's still, we think it's going to be further. It's going to be very good for our kid. Everything. Think about, even, okay, you want to leave something for a kid. You want to leave one house or a kid. Maybe you make one account, in the Bitcoin, and then it's going to be better. You see all the values things going down. So I always tell my friends about this, and I think it's the growth. I think the kids start to learn more and more. For sure, I believe we have to make it more attractive to the kids, for learn about. Then I know the hard to the kids think about the future is one of the things. But I believe it's really important. But when you see this, the how important it's gonna be can change your life in 10 years, or maybe 20 or more. But you believe and teach the system for them how to work. I believe it's gonna grow more and more.
I would agree, especially with how attuned the younger generation is just to technology as a whole. Bitcoin
Yes.
is kind of a natural catalyst for them to get
And
into.
then when you start to pay things too, I think because this I put in my I use this I put it. It's not here now, but I here. So I put, okay, you guys can buy shirts. You know, my Instagram, my website use the Bitcoin. I think more this you can, the way you can pay things. I think people start more learn about too and get interesting.
Yeah, and that's almost more important than just educating people, but actually taking action and using
Hmm.
Bitcoin as a tool is great.
Yeah.
And you're practicing what you're preaching too. Not only are you taking
Yes.
payment in Bitcoin
Yes.
for your fights, but you're also selling merch and stuff in Bitcoin too, which is very exciting. You've mentioned family a lot, and family I know is, to many fighters is super important, especially for many families around the world. And family goes beyond just your flesh and blood, right? You have your family in the ring. We have our Bitcoiner family, the toxic Bitcoin maximalists that like to get together and talk about Bitcoin on the regular. And a big extension of that is the Bitcoin conference. And so it's facilitating the family side, it's facilitating the education side. I know you've attended a lot of our own events, such as Bitcoin Miami and Nashville, and now you're going to
Hmm.
Vegas in
Yes.
2025. What's it like being a famous professional fighter going to these conferences and talking about Bitcoin amongst other enthusiasts?
It's for me. It was really cool because you have a group all the girls you brunch together, and then the girls share every story. Have a lot of girls different country, Africa. So the all the different things they did with a Bitcoin, and you see every year I going grow more girls and more women together. Even kids. I saw kids the last time too. I think it's really important. It continue doing the conference because this is make it grow much more and the family getting big, and when you're there you're open for do questions too, ask any question you'd like to hear, and you share. Last time I was talking to one reporter too from a different country, and she was really telling me, and we share a lot of great things. I think it's like a network. It's really important, and I make me really happy to be part of this, and I know every year I learn something new.
What's your most favorite part about these conferences? Is it the education, the networking, or just being with the community? And how does that compare to like a fight camp or a sports expo?
I believe it like everything I enjoy. Every time I learn something new, and I met somebody over there, and then shared, my most people there, some that they know me before the beginning. Now it's crazy because my nickname is Cyborg, so the easy people contact is really nice. I think it is nothing happen, everything happened for a reason, and I'm really happy because I met a lot of people. It's a network. I share my work over there too. It's nice. Is one thing is develop and is growing. It's like when I started MMA, I was growing too, and now into the Bitcoin, it was growing, and it's nice to growing together and be part the family. And I hope this year is gonna be a lot of more people too, and they're being shared a lot, and it's gonna be amazing.
Now, I know you're speaking at Vegas. What kind of messaging do you want to get out for the people? Obviously, you're going to have a lot of fans of yourself out there, but there's going to be a lot of net new Bitcoiners. And for many people who are new to the space, it's almost their first exposure to. So to see an athlete like yourself up on stage is definitely very exciting for them. What do you plan to speak about?
I'm gonna share a little bit about my experience in Bitcoin. Um, Explain to them, don't be afraid. I know sometimes when the new things you'll be afraid, but you have to have courage. You can lose money anything. You can lose money buy one land and then make a house. You can lose money a lot of things. So, but I believe you if you learn about um like you go do one jiu-jitsu tournament, you're gonna have to invest your time training for you do the competition. It's the same thing in Bitcoin. You have to learn, you read a book, search, going to the conference, meet different peoples with the same goal, you know. And I think, and the nice the conference, people share a lot of experience over there. I believe it's important. No, you get into this, learn this. I think as do knows what to doing. No, you're gonna control everything. Nobody gonna control for you. You're gonna be control everything, and it is gonna is the future. You know, I believe it's the future, and I think number one in your life is your freedom. I think it's the number one. Nobody control you.
It's definitely the future, especially, you being in the space since 2018. I mean, we've talked about a lot of the, technical and sentiment sides, but the news cycle has just been crazy. Heck, at Bitcoin 2024, we had then presidential candidate Trump, now president of the United States there, along with a host of other senators in the US. And since then, there's been a lot of global attraction too. I think even Brazil has talked about maybe potentially putting Bitcoin on the
Yes.
balance sheet. What's your take on all the global attention now, especially from governments?
I believe like El Salvador, you know, they change it for Bitcoin. I think if you see the other countries buying Bitcoin, you don't want to be behind. You want to invest too. It's like an investment. So I think everybody wanna, if everybody hold gold, now hold Bitcoin, I think you have to go into it for no stay behind.
Absolutely. And nobody wants to be last in place. I think the US right now is in a unique position to set the example for everyone, just kind of how El Salvador said it was okay for a government
Uh-huh.
to look at
Uh-huh.
things.
Uh-huh.
But I'm very curious to see where things go. Heck, I mean, it wasn't even that long ago, back in January, where Trump was talking about integrating some other coins into the strategic reserve. And within
Mhm.
like 2 weeks, he pedaled that back and said, no, it's going to be just Bitcoin only. But that whole period felt like an entire year's worth of news. It's things move so fast. Where do you
Yes.
see things going the remainder of 2025? Are there any kind of unique predictions that you see coming up, or hopes that you see for Bitcoin?
Um, I feel like I didn't check every day. I just feel like it's gonna be investment for my future, and I will keep it holding. And I believe it's gonna getting better and better because as people start to get attention, you see a lot of different countries who want to invest in Bitcoin, and for sure in the United States start investing too. I think it's gonna change. People gonna open their eyes and say, okay, I have to do too. So I think a lot of attention go into it, and then just gonna get it better. More people into it, is it better it's gonna be.
Now, everybody loves a good price prediction, so I have to ask you. Some people are saying 130K by year end. Others are saying a million. Where do you think Bitcoin price falls at the end of 2025?
But I believe it's gonna be like maybe I think 130 in the year and 135.
I would be
But
very
maybe
happy.
I don't know. If, I hope it. Yeah, hopefully. Hmm.
Yeah, your wealth is melting, right? At the end of the day, one Bitcoin equals just one Bitcoin. Few last questions here. So I know you've bought Bitcoin with boxing earnings, and you've launched collectibles like the shirt and jersey. How does this future impact you personally as both an investor and an advocate? What is the biggest takeaway you have for people as it pertains to Bitcoin?
What I mean, sorry, I didn't get it. Sorry.
What is
Sorry.
your biggest take What is your biggest
Big.
takeaway, Chris, for anybody listening to this as it pertains to Bitcoin or fighting? What's the message you want to get out to people?
The message. Like the message I want to give is still early. You really can invest in Bitcoin. Gonna have a conference in Las Vegas. You're welcome to come, be part of the family, and learn about. You don't want to stay behind anything. Everybody don't want to stay behind in the iPhone. Everybody want to change, get the first iPhone. So you want to know about Bitcoin, study more, and the investment. Don't stay behind. It's going to be in the future. I know you think every parent should be here, hearing me, then think about it, leave things for the kids. Well, here, I think the big tools we have in our hands is the Bitcoin. And I believe, and this is one of my investment, and if you can do this, and learning more. I believe it's going to be in the right way. And you love your freedom. This is the number one too.
Yes, very well said. Nothing better than freedom money at the end of the day. Well, Cris, I know you've been a big advocate of the Bitcoin conference. Where can people find your discount code for tickets? Where can people find you if they want to connect with you? I know you have a pretty big presence on X. How's it best for people to get in contact with you?
So you can go to my website, chriscyborg.com, and the same way, my same name, Cris Cyborg, for my Instagram, Facebook. I have my YouTube channel. It's all the same. My name, Cris Cyborg. Um, if you wanna, you might have my OnlyFans too. But my OnlyFans, I just share training, share the experience, the travel. So you can follow me there too. I'm here for answer any question you'd like to answer, and. And then the code is Cyborg. If you want to go to Las Vegas, have a nice trip, learn about Bitcoin, change your life, go to chriscyborg.com and use the code Cyborg. You're going to have a discount. And it's going to be a pleasure to meet you there. And that's it. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Cris, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. Looking forward to seeing you in Vegas and speak in Vegas. I hope I get a chance to say hello, but absolute pleasure and best of luck come in May.
Thank you.